Hi, Nick. Good to see you back again for round two of our discussions on TAG. Yeah, we certainly had some interesting conversations about the role that TAG plays in reducing ad fraud, helping brand safety in the last discussion that we had. So looking forward to more details on that today.
Great.
So maybe a good place to start is, like, if a company was interested in implementing TAG, how do you make sure that they're actually following the standards that you've set out?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think this goes to how we've I talked about that in the last video about the global standards for local markets and how we've tailored compliance for the GCC market. So, in complying with the anti-fraud standard and the brand safety standard, we actually require independent validation for these standards. And what I mean by that is that a third-party audit sounds a bit like a financial intrusive audit. It's not. It's really a process check. Comes in to check that a company is complying with the standard. Independent validation is not compulsory for the anti-fraud standard around the world, but we have decided that it should be for the GCC market, and arguably that is the direction of travel we are experiencing, and it's certainly a more robust way of complying. Self-attestation, which we use for the certification against malware standards. Self-attestation is a US phrase, I suppose, but it really means self-declaration. And that is still an option for the certified against malware standard.
Right, it would seem that a third-party audit would be more acceptable for most companies, I would have guessed.
Yeah, I mean it's required annually. As I said, it's not required in each and every market. It depends on where a company decides to apply the standards. So, for example, if they're working globally, there's one audit for their global operations, or if they're just applying it in the GCC market, the audit is just for the GCC market. And we don't have a set of approved auditors, certainly auditors like Deloitte and Ernst & Young, EY, and others, and specialists like ABC and BPA are involved. So there's nothing to stop a company working with a local auditor to cover all their compliance with all their operations. So the list isn't exhaustive. It's very flexible.
Oh, that's really helpful. Now, it sounds this is quite similar to what some other companies do. So, examples, perhaps Moat would be one that springs to mind. How do you differ from what the likes of Moat and others do?
Well, we work very closely with them. I mean, they are the experts in tackling these challenges that the digital ad industry faces. TAG is not a technology organization. We, as I mentioned in the first video, we work with companies to build standards, and then companies, vendors like Moat, come in as the experts to help companies meet the standards. So we're not competing with Moat, we're very much working with them. And in fact, they are instrumental in helping companies comply with the standards. So they are the technology experts, we are the standard setters.
Oh, great. That makes it a lot clearer for me. Well, thanks very much for your time once again, Nick. Good to see you again in our round two of our discussions about TAG and how it relates to the GCC market. Looking forward to our final conversation in the next episode.
Thanks, Ian.